This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
Are you looking to improve or build a stronger relationship with someone in your life? Alicia has created the Tools to Heal, Navigating Challenging Relationships conversation cards with that purpose in mind. The conversation cards are suitable for all relationships: parent-child, partner-to-partner, friend-to-friend, etc. Each card has a different question developed to encourage meaningful and deep conversation. Be open, honest, and enjoy as you begin to peel back the layers of your relationships and build closer bonds. Life is more beautiful with healthy connections. Valeria interviews Alicia Harris. She is a licensed professional counselor, LPC, in the state of New Jersey, a certified school counselor, and a motivational speaker. She is also the creator of Tools to Heal, Navigating Challenging Relationships conversation cards. Alicia Harris was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. She is passionate about pouring into the cups of others and has extensive knowledge and experience working with children, adolescents, and adults in educational, professional, and mental health settings. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology and a Master of Arts degree in counseling with school counseling certification. Additionally, Alicia has proudly served 16-plus years in federal service, spending most of her career assisting airports nationwide with operational management and workforce development. Outside of her federal career, she has devoted time to providing mentorship and mental health therapy to children and young adults, and continues to do so. Alicia also does a wide range of community work and gives back whenever possible. Alicia holds many roles, but her favorite is being a mom to her talented teenage daughter. As a mom, counselor, career coach, mentor, and consultant, her glass-shattering experiences have allowed her to reach, help improve, and transform the lives of many. Meet Alicia at essenceofhealing.org and tools-to-heal.com. Here's the interview with Alicia Harris.
In your own words, who is Alicia Harris?
Who is Alicia Harris? That always seemed like such a difficult question to answer. I do so many things that are all a part of who I am. First and foremost, I am a mother. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, and then I am one who loves to pour into people. And that is in everything that I do, which has led me to being in this field, being a mental health therapist. But I am all things people. I am extremely ambitious. I am a go-getter. I hear the term often, the sky is the limit. But for me, beyond the sky is the limit.
Wow. I love that. I love that. Well, that says something very profound, which I have found to be a spiritual message, that we are unlimited. We are infinite is what we are, not who we are, but what. There's no limit to that. So that really resonates what you just said. What a beautiful understanding, realization to have that we are not limited. This is something that is often the case with people who don't really believe that they can achieve certain things or even that they can heal from past traumas or whatever it is in the body that needs healing. So, what is your message? Or what's the first step, per se, Alicia, when you come across a client with this mentality? What do you tell them as a first step to move forward?
Wow. As a first step, I would tell them that everyone is capable of healing. And sometimes we become our thoughts. And that might sound a little cliche, but I believe it wholeheartedly. And I will work with that client to kind of work on reframing their thoughts and identifying moments in their lives where they may have felt inferior or fear, um, had challenges that they thought they would never be able to overcome, and have them share that with me, and not just the beginning of it and those feelings, but also how things turned out. And a lot of times clients end up expressing to me that the situation did not turn out as bad as they thought, that it actually was a blessing in disguise. And so that's typically how I would approach it if a client came to me and spoke to me about healing. We have to think positive thoughts in order for positive things to begin to happen within us. So that is the first step, and I think actually, to be honest, I believe that may even be the second step, because the first step is the acknowledgement of it all,
Right.
and
Right.
the self-awareness in it.
Right. Yeah. That's a big one. True. So true. I talk to a lot of people, a lot of therapists here, and coaches too, life coaches, spiritual teachers and guides. And I hear that a lot as the first step, being awareness, being acknowledging what is happening and where we are. And it does make a lot of sense, of course. But I still think that the very first step might be, has been my case, it's to be open, even to the possibility of recognizing that something is not healthy. Because I see that it happened to me where I had PTSD. I was abused as a child. So I had a lot of a lot of resistance and acknowledge that something was not per se wrong, but unhealthy. It was not serving me. So it was getting in the way of peace, happiness, and all that. So I was not, for some reason, something in me, the mind was not open to that idea that something could be not healthy. So I don't know. How do you feel about that? You might be the first or the second person that I say that to. It's becoming more clear to me these days.
No, I agree in that being open and being willing are definitely some. It's definitely a step before taking the action
Right.
to go ahead and do the work.
Yeah.
I would say that, I guess, using the situation, your personal situation, you were aware that you were going through something.
Right.
You were aware that you were experiencing pain of some point, and
Yes.
of some degree,
Right.
and then you became willing to acknowledge that this is hindering you in one way or another, and that you wanted to heal from it.
That's true. So in a way, it is, right? So you actually connecting, being open to action, to taking action, and not being open to become aware of something. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense, of course. So everything starts within the mind, which is interesting to see. It seems like it's where everything happens anyway. All the perceptions we have and the experiences is being kind of translated, filtered by the mind. So going back to, that question that I mentioned off record, Alicia, about the goal of healing. So I guess I will add another question to that. What is the goal of therapy? And then is that the same as the goal of healing?
So the goal of therapy is to get to a space where you can navigate life, navigate relationships, or navigate whatever goal you set out for yourself when it comes to being emotionally and mentally healthy. And it's never ending though. It's not
Yeah.
something where you
Yeah.
can just put a cap on it and say, okay,
Yes, right.
I'm healed enough, or I'm healthy enough. It's continuous, in the same way when we speak about like our physical health, right? We might tackle one issue and then at some point in our lives, another issue may come up. And it's the same concept. As far as healing, I think the concept applies the same. There is no cap on healing. And it will forever be a continuous thing. You might be really, become really well at handling your emotions around different topics, handling around your emotions around things that may have triggered you or caused you to be unhealed. But I don't believe that it's something that will just ever be done, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, from that perspective, yes, body, mind, even heart, I would include in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's an ongoing process, not only of being healed from something, but I also subscribe to the idea of acceptance. There are some things that we cannot heal from, and acceptance is a big one for me. Just, right, stay there. But I come from, my main understanding is that I'm already whole, complete. So there's nothing missing, nothing broken or incomplete. So that's my starting point. This realization has helped me a lot. It almost like created this safe space so I can explore what seems to be broken and incomplete, like the body when its immune system drops, or the mind with the negative thoughts or a trigger. It gave me that ground so I can kind of dance around what seems to be missing, broken, and etc. So that's my perspective. I know it's one that not most of us have. Have you heard about that before, Alicia, or have you come across this understanding?
Oh, yes, I have. It sounds like to me that you have done some healing work. When someone says to me that I
Yeah.
feel like I am whole,
Mm,
I am whole, I am complete.
mm.
For me, that's an indicator that they've done some work.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember not feeling whole or complete, and at some point in my life, and it reflected. It carried over into my relationships. It carried over into my work. It carried over into everything that I was doing. And when I realized, and when I became aware and willing to kind of I guess deal with it in a sense, and sort out my own therapy. It was in that moment that I had started the journey towards being whole. And once I started that journey and completed that journey with my therapist, I can now say that I am whole, that I am complete. And when you speak about um, being able to now identify bits and pieces that might be broken, or that might need a little bit of work, to me that sounds like grounding, right? Like that you're centered, you're grounded, and when you are centered and grounded, you're able to receive and you're able to pay attention, and that awareness is heightened. So
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, a billion times to doing the work because yeah, it takes it's so true though. Yeah, I cannot say that I do believe that we are born with this understanding. I have memories when I was very young as a child, feeling free, like nothing could bother me. Nothing could, it was just like invincible. And, just navigating this reality as if I didn't even have a body. And everything was just so magical and new, and it was just joyful, everything. And I really remember that vividly. And then at some point, something happened. The mind started to filter everything. And I remember just a lot of thinking and self-judgment and listen. I think it came from, of course, being abused, that I didn't perceive that immediately. It was part of the play. But then, yeah, it's the body won't let that go for a long time, as we know. The more we get hit and all that, the body will just kind of store that information, and then the mind will try to understand, and which happens not in a nice way, in a good way. But yes, so I do believe that we're born this way, free, with this sense of wholeness, completeness. And then something happens in a sense of letting experience to change, not even change, but cover that understanding, that truth that's there. So in a way, healing is the process of uncovering, isn't it, Alicia? The truth
Oh,
of what we are.
absolutely. Uncovering, unpacking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I think with everyone having different experiences, that magical feeling and that feeling of freedom and no worries. And then the shift occurs. I believe that shift occurs differently and at different points in people's lives. Because if I could think back to my childhood, for me, things started to get a little more cloudy when I was about 5, 6 years old, which is a very young age. And it was in those moments that I just had a different view on life. And I think what played into that is also just me being an older sibling as well,
Yeah.
being the oldest.
Yeah. My case too. Yeah.
Yeah, yep, and being parentified at times.
Yeah.
So I think all of that kind of, it shortened my window of having that free spirited feeling of being a child.
But it also seems like a natural process in a way. I don't think we are immune to it, right, Alicia? We can't control those processes.
I agree with you on that. It's almost, it's embedded in us.
Yeah, right.
It's a part of us. That's one thing that's not necessarily learned.
Yes, right. So another question, those are my opening questions. The topic is emotional healing surrounding relationships, and you have created a Tools to Heal. I love the title. It's conversation cards, navigating challenging relationships. So we'll be talking about that in a moment. But let me ask you another open question. What do you feel is the purpose of the human experience?
Purpose. When you asking me that question, the word purpose just comes up, and just finding. I feel like everyone has a meaning and a purpose in life, and it's our duty to try and to identify what that purpose and meaning is, and to get as close to it as possible. Right?
Yeah.
Sure. And so that's, in a nutshell, that's what I think.
Yeah. So you go back to personal purpose, but not as do you? And I love the big picture. I think that's why I ask these questions. What's the big picture? Now, what are we? I've been asking these questions forever. When very young, at a very young age, what am I doing here? What is this?
Right,
just question everything. and then now, I have been asking the question of what, it's okay, we are here already. So I get that. I have to accept that,
right.
that we are here. But is there a purpose, to humanity as a whole? Are we walking toward something? Some people say peace, that we are walking toward this reality that's very peaceful, that we all live together in harmony. That's
right,
one.
Right.
Some people say that's just to grow, to learn to love as a soul. So there are different perspectives. And then, some people say it's to help one another. I love that one too. So when you think about that, answering that question, does it come to mind the big picture? Do you see? I mean, it's just it's a playful thing, I guess. Nobody really knows, right? It feels,
Correct.
yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to say that no one really knows truly what their purpose is. And I think, purpose is different from person to person. But whatever makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, whatever drives your passion, I feel like that's you getting closer to whatever your purpose may be. When I think about myself, and I think about when I started out with my private practice, and I'm like, okay, everyone has a niche, so what's my niche? What am I going to do? And when I started doing therapy, I realized, oh, okay, I'm passionate about helping individuals become emotionally and mentally healthy. But as time went on, and the more clients that I saw and the more work that I did, I realized, I think I'm getting closer to wanting to work with individuals that are focusing on healing their relationships. And so now that's getting me a little bit more closer to what I believe my purpose may be at this point in time. And I believe my purpose will change as time go on. Seasons change. And so I think that also can be in alignment with your purpose. So to answer your question, I think it's just different from person to person. For, as you said, you had different perspectives, and some people believe that it's love, or that it's helping people or being there. But I truly think that it's in the hands of the individual that you ask.
Yes, yes, yes. That's very much true. And I guess because I talk to so many people, then I try to kind of see if there's a thread there where most, you see, I'm still looking for the big picture that most of us could agree with, and say, yes, that's it.
Right.
And really, I know the helping one another, that one, it's really a powerful one, though. I see so many people, to say that. And not just say it, they're doing it. And even people who are not helping others in a sense of as a profession, I see how happy they feel when they help somebody. Something happens. So, and Alicia, that kind of answers another question for me about the interconnectedness of life, that everything is connected, that there's just one reality for all this that seems to be so different and colorful. You see nature, it's so different. But what's the one reality of that, which we are not separate, we are nature too. So everything on earth, and not just earth, but everything that seems to exist that we can perceive is one reality. Well, this is my main interest because I love going as deep as I can go when it comes to metaphysics and spirituality. So I see that with science kind of revealing the same truth and then spiritual philosophies. It goes back to that. So that could answer that question, the why we feel like it's so innate to help one another. It feels so good because we all we share one essence. We are one reality and not two. And that's interesting to see that the name of your company, is that Essence of Healing? I know you don't have Essence of Healing. That really, you see, that resonated with me. Anything with essence too, the words, it's interesting, the power that words have to kind of resonate with truth within ourselves. So let me go back before we talk about the main topic, tools to heal, which is connected. Everything is connected. Emotional and mental health, that's one of your main interests. That's why you do what you do. Again, I would love to see the description of the big picture. What would that look like? What is to be mentally, emotionally healthy?
To be mentally and emotionally healthy is to be whole. And everything that you do. It's having an understanding that perfection doesn't exist, being able to accept differences in others, being able to accept your own flaws, and that you may possess, and just being able to overall acknowledge those things and view the world and walk in the world and be in the world from that standpoint. Emotionally, being emotionally healthy is just being in control of your emotions and being in control of your feelings. I remember not being emotionally healthy myself, and I've had so many wide range of emotions of just feeling not in control, and just losing it at times. They have the saying, going 0 to 100. That was me through and through.
Yeah.
And internalizing the choices and the behaviors of others. And so I learned through therapy, of course, my own form of therapy, because I feel like in order to walk the walk, I have to talk the talk, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
in my own form of therapy, I was able to do the work of getting to an emotionally healthy place where I could no longer internalize the things of others and have more control of my emotions and identify, my triggers and implement coping skills, and to the point where it now has become a part of my being. And so I think when someone's striving for being mentally and emotionally healthy is being in control, being able to tap into yourself and notice when you're not well, and how to navigate and become well.
Wow. Yes. So I see a lot of the work of self-knowledge, right? Self-awareness. That's a big one. Yes. So that's the work of self-knowledge, self-healing, being open and using the tools, right? I love your phrase, tools to heal. Yeah. Because sometimes we do have the knowledge, but we don't apply them. We have the tools, we don't use them. So it takes courage too, right, Alicia? A lot of times to see what is not working, what's not healthy, and have that attitude of courage to apply, to do what we have to do. I usually don't use the word control for some reason. I don't know. That might be, that might relate to force, manipulation. I don't know why, but I put these words together, the meaning of those words together in my mind has internalized, as you said, some of these concepts in a not in a positive way per se.
You saying that the word control you associate it with with force.
Yes.
And
yes.
yeah. And as you were speaking, I'm like, well, I can see how that could, how you can come to that, those terminologies when it comes to control,
right.
and maybe manage would be more of an appropriate term, as opposed to control.
Yes. I was thinking about a different word that I could use, manage. Yes, that sounds better. Isn't that interesting that sometimes the mind resists, right? Some words, there's a reason. There's a trauma related to it, probably.
Absolutely. Yeah. Something underlying, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. So let's talk about your tools to heal, the conversation cards. So this can be used, that's for relationships, of course, couples. Could those cards also be used for, I know it's for relationships when it comes to couples, but I'm wondering if we could use in the sense of, siblings or say parents use with children. Is that?
Well, it's not necessarily for couples. It's for all relationships, any relationship that you might experience challenges in. And it's mother-daughter relationships, it's partner-to-partner friendships. You can even use it with your friends. So I created it with everyone in mind, that just trying to help others acquire healthier relationships.
Right. So it's for everyone. It has to do with relationships in general. Okay, that's good that you clarified that. So I have some of the phrases you sent me as sample. The first question I came across was, what does love mean to you? That's a question that I usually ask my guests here. So I'll ask that question to you. But before that, Alicia, I'd be interested to disclose the instructions. So do we create, is that also possible to just create our own rules, or we should follow exactly as you are? I love creating new rules, so
Well,
you know. uh,
well, there are directions associated with the cards. And it's pretty much to one, find a space for you guys to talk with limited distractions, and to have fun with it, for first and foremost, but also to remain respectful, but be as open and honest as possible. I do incorporate, I believe it's about 4 safeguards in the deck. And those cards were, I included those with the thought of some of the questions may be a bit much for certain relationships or individuals that's participating or using them. And so it allows them time to kind of take a break from it, right?
yes. Yeah.
But also with the idea in mind that they may need to come back to it, or maybe explore that there might need to be some work done around that particular question.
Right.
And so, but ultimately, anyone can use the cards in the way that they see fit for their relationships. But
yes, yeah, and play with it in a meaningful way. I love
correct.
this idea that we can become more light, in a sense of not taking everything so seriously. Most people do, and sometimes it's even not easy to have a conversation, a natural conversation that would be, from my perspective, it's not easy to have. Like with my own husband, when I ask him some questions or bring, some topics into the conversation, I see that he's not open to that, to some of those ideas. So I don't know, because I am open to talk about anything and just listen and learn. I guess, yeah, I'm trying to, I would love for the world to reflect that, to be more open and receptive. And conversations, they are just, they are the door to me to understanding. And even when love, that question that I'll be asking you now, the understanding of love to me has a lot to do with being open, curious. So, but from your own perspective, Alicia, what is love?
Love is peace.
Yeah.
Love is peace, and it is acceptance. It is, I feel compelled to say unconditional, but actually I don't necessarily believe that.
Yes.
So I think it's conditional and unconditional. But I think mostly love is peace. Love is warm. Love is understanding. It's accepting. I know sometimes when I was younger, I would think love is whimsical and it's magical. But as I've gotten older and experienced love in so many different dynamics, whether it was love that was extremely healthy, or love that, or I guess things that masks itself as love. So as I've navigated those different experiences, I've learned that love is comfort, it's peace, it's feeling whole, it's having understanding and acceptance. I just can't give it like one word or one phrase, but I truly believe it's all of those things.
Yes, yes. It resonates true to me. I mean, peace, acceptance, they go hand in hand, don't they? That's a beautiful way of saying it. I know a lot of people, they talk about love related to feelings, emotions and feelings, but I don't know. I like this better. Acceptance, peace.
Yeah.
That's going deeper, isn't it? Much deeper.
It really is. I think emotions is such a surface level of love,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the love that I experienced when I was younger,
Yeah,
in
me
my
too.
childhood.
Yeah.
It gives me butterflies,
Yeah. Yes.
But now it's like,
Mm.
whoa, true love brings me peace. True
Mm.
love
Mm.
is having the acceptance and also being accepting, you know.
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Both ways, of course. It has to be mutual in a way. And you just mentioned unconditional. It would be amazing if we could love one another unconditionally, humans. Even love
Right.
ourselves, right? At least unconditionally, and accept
Right.
all parts of ourselves and be kind. Yes, it's possible though. I really believe it's possible. And I was just thinking about, I have so many amazing conversations here about, the inner critic too, that we do have that voice that's always kind of telling us what to do and how to do it, but in a way of almost like trying to be perfect, trying to narrow our existence and our experiences into something that is, it looks in a certain way and it has to always be that way. It's kind of fixed too. So that sounds very unkind to me every time I think about anything fixed. So acceptance kind of brings this image of flexibility, adaptability, openness again. And I really believe that that's the key, though, to almost anything else. I know Maya Angelou, she said courage is the foundation for everything else. But I always go back to being open. And it might be related to courage too, right? Being receptive, not trying to fight what is, but listening. I don't know.
Listening and going back to being grounded, right?
Yes,
And
yes, yeah.
allowing um allowing yourself to receive and
Yeah,
knowing how to navigate.
yeah.
And it's so interesting because in some of the approaches that I use, I use several therapeutic approaches in therapy. But one of them that I definitely find myself using a lot is the Adlerian approach, which talks about like the 4 C's: connected, capable, count,
Mm,
courage.
yeah.
So it's just so
Uh,
interesting to hear
uh,
that you
uh,
used
uh,
at least three out of
uh,
the 4 words in this podcast today.
yeah.
So when we talk about connectedness,
Oh, that's
that
a
just
big
came
one.
full circle for me.
Yeah, that's a big one, Alicia. Yeah.
Hmm.
Connected. Ha.
Connected.
Yeah. Boy, you have no idea. I'll talk to you off record. I'm working on some. That's the word. That is the word. I mean, what's not to love about the exploration of what that means, to be connected to
Yeah.
oneself, to life itself, to God.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me started with this one.
Look, we can stick
Ah,
with it because when you talk about connected
yeah.
and connectedness, I think
Mm.
that also um it aligns with what we were talking about with love,
Yes.
right? And
Right.
how you connect
Yep.
with people,
Mm.
how you connect with your purpose, and how you give that love in the
Mm.
world.
Mm.
So,
Yes, a billion times to that. I have
mhm.
goosebumps. Yes, connected, love, the same. Yes, all that greatness. Yes. But this is only possible once we, give healing a chance. So thank you so much for what you do and the inspiration that you give to people around you and your clients to heal. That it starts there. It has to. So we're almost at the end. I do have a few more questions for you, Alicia. And before we end the conversation, I want to mention the services that you offer: individual therapy, couples therapy, team programs, premarital counseling. And you also offer workforce development, change management workshop, leadership training, morale building training, trauma informed. And then you have other, I found this on your website: additional
Mhm.
services, speaking engagements, mentorship, life coaching, accountability coaching, one-on-one leadership coaching. Did I miss anything?
No, but I do want to, in particularly, point out the teen programming.
Yes.
And so I have an all girls group that's titled Strengthen Her.
Yes.
And it's for teenagers from the age of 12 years old to 16 years of age. And it's just teaching them how to become successful young women, helping them explore some of their challenges, helping them learn how to set healthy boundaries, communicate effectively, identifying what love is, and how they connect with the people in their world. So I did just want to kind of highlight that because it's something that I am also extremely passionate about and kind of feeds my purpose.
How beautiful. Yes, that's, what an amazing purpose to have, to help other women. I usually don't exclude, maybe because coming from the perspective of wholeness, it's all inclusive, so I don't push away anything. But yes, there's something about being a woman myself and a very confused teenager, not knowing what to do and suffering so much unnecessarily and feeling so disconnected for so long. I know how important it is to kind of address the minds of young people. That's so important, giving them, it's almost helping them to heal themselves, isn't it, Alicia?
It really is.
Becoming resilient.
It really is. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for including that too. So you have lots of purposes, lots of missions here, important ones. So I have the website, essenceofhealing.org, and I also have the tools-to-heal.com. Those two links will be on the podcast notes, so they'll be clickable and people can find that easily. But before we say goodbye, I do have a question that I often ask everyone. I'll ask you too. But before that even, is there anything that you left unsaid, Alicia? Anything that it's important to you to be communicated here now?
Nothing comes to mind. I think that you done a great job with providing me with the space to truly talk about some of the things that are important to me.
Yeah, thank you for being open. It goes back to that again. Thank you. So my last question is, what 3 experiences you wish everyone to have before they lose the body, before they die?
Talk about getting deep.
Yes, I love that. Can't help it.
Okay. Can you repeat that for me one more time?
Yes, yeah.
Got it.
What 3 experiences you wish everyone to have before they die?
3 experiences that I wish everyone to have before they die. One would be to find peace and whatever relationships that they might not have had peace in, or it may have shifted. And finding that peace can be many things. It doesn't necessarily mean to mend relationships, but it's just getting to a place of acceptance of where you are, where that individual may be, and coming to terms with, that you a part of your wholeness is just getting to the place of acceptance and finding peace in your relationships. So that would be one thing. The other thing would be to give whatever it is that you're passionate about, whatever it is that they may love, to give it their all, to truly give everything their all. And the last thing would be to try and be intentional about being grounded and be intentional about everything that you do. So.
Yes, and yes, a billion times to all that. Thank you so much, Alicia, again, for sharing timeless wisdom from my perspective and for being so giving and generous the way you are, engaging so many meaningful activities throughout life. I know this is one of them. You didn't have to do this, go on podcasts, but you are doing that too. So thank you so much for being you, ultimately. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So we'll be in touch again. Take good care. Bye for now.
Take care.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Alicia Harris and her work, please visit essenceofhealing.org and tools-to-heal.com.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.